Hey guys, this is Michael with the Jungle Gym Reviews. Today we're reviewing the RowErg Echo Rower, and I want to speak to this as I've owned now this, I've owned the Concept2, and a few other knockoff options. Some are okay, some not. And basically I want to speak to what I think would be the best solution for your home gym, especially from the angle of someone who's more of like a casual rower. So first off, the design, RowErg's typical overbuilt design. This thing looks sleek, it's all black. It looks beefy. It is definitely a little bit heavier, and upon looking up some specs, I think this weighs somewhere in like the 70, 75 pound range, whereas the Concept2 weighs closer to 55, 60. And you actually notice that when you sit on it, especially when you do things like interval trainings where you're really like pulling as hard as you can, and this thing does not move. You'll see part of that is probably the frame, the weight. The other thing you'll see actually on the front is part of some of the design choices they made, which are those turf tires. So because the tires are a little bit wider, just know this thing is solid. It's not going to move. It's not going to tip over. And that's exactly what it's meant to be. I assume since it's made for now the official CrossFit Games competitions and everything, no matter what measly, 175 pound me can do on this a couple times a week, this is going to handle, the biggest, strongest athletes. So just know that even though it's not as time tested as the Concept2, if it's good enough for competitions, it's very likely, good enough for most people in their home. Speaking of the competitions, and I would say like how it feels, how it compares from a feel to the Concept2, from a chain pull resistance, some of the cheaper options I've noticed, that's where you really feel the difference. So when you pull out, especially in this way back in, like how I call this the eccentric, when it snaps back into the unit, that's where the biggest, most noticeable difference is with some of the cheaper options. This versus the Concept2, pretty much identical, at least for me, for all intents and purposes. And I will actually even say, RowErg, if you go to their website and look through all the specs and everything, they basically explicitly say they made this to feel the exact same as a Concept2, to be able to be used in competition settings side by side, because again, we're talking about professional athletes that these competitions have sanctioned and they're used to training or whatever on a Concept2. They want to be able to go back and forth and basically use these side by side, head to head, have it feel the exact same. RowErg actually had a third-party company basically do some of the engineering and quality control when it came to the pull feel and all of that. So just know, for you at home, for all intents and purposes, this is going to be the exact same quality standards as far as feel, the cable retraction as the Concept2.